All right, so today's gardening project. So what I am actually doing is I'm out here on my back patio, and yes, I hear you. I hear you. Um, and what I'm doing is I'm actually pulling up. My doggies downstairs are going crazy. Yep. What? Yep. They're all downstairs happy. But like I said, with this video, what I'm doing, I am actually pulling out the little onion seeds that I had started a couple weeks ago. Right now, it is getting to be very, very nice outside. And I do believe the colder, freezing weather has passed. Even though our last frost date is officially, I do believe, April the 9th. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead. We had built some raised garden beds outside. So I am going to go ahead and transplant these outside into the garden. And the reason I'm doing that is because they are just getting so crowded in here now. And it's time to get them moved into their permanent home. So what I'm doing first is I'm trying to gently get them out of the soil, especially the ones that are, green and growing already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this and get the ones that are green and growing and get those taken care of. And then the ones that are kind of like this that haven't really done anything yet but still look good, I'm going to kind of plant these in, what's big, medium, small, and not growing. So these are just white onion, again, just store-bought seedlings that all look like this. So I'm going to get these picked through and try to be as delicate as I can because I don't want to pick off the roots. So I will be right back once I'm done with this. And while I'm picking through, I'm just going to kind of show you the reason why I am doing this now. I did not start these outside and just let them plant. I did start these in just this little bitty tiny tray because I did want them to start growing and get established, during the colder, the end of winter, to give them a good head start to when they do move outside. I did not want to just put them in the ground outside like that. So I am definitely trying to get all of these pretty roots. And if you don't start your onions indoors, that's fine. This is just something, like I said, I did to get a head start on the growing. And some of these starters that I had were super duper tiny little things. Not all of them were big like that one, but you can definitely see some of the smaller ones. And there's a ton of smaller ones that are growing and doing well. And as I pulled out all the ones that I could see at the top, I'm actually going through and I'm looking for some of them that may not have grown yet, or like this little one that has grown but hasn't broken the surface yet. So I'm just kind of carefully digging around and looking to make sure that I don't leave anything behind. Look, like there's another little bitty one. Okay, so I've gotten all the onions out of my tray and I dumped out the soil. What I did before I put them back in here is I checked each onion. And again, like I said, there are big ones and small ones and baby ones, but all of these here are alive. And like some of these here, they don't have green yet, but the roots are healthy. You know, they are growing. And what I was doing before I put them back in here, because this is a tray I'm going to take outside and I'm going to transplant. I wanted to check each bulb, even these ones here that haven't really done anything up at top yet. I wanted to kind of squeeze them and look at them. Some of them, for instance, were kind of trying to grow, but they were very soft. As you can see, I'm denting into that one. Some of them did, unfortunately, mold and mildew. So I ended up having to, I think there's only 3 or 4 of those. But in all fairness, this tray here did not have any drip holes or anything. So the moisture was kind of kept in here. So, you know, it's to be expected that I kind of lose a couple. But so far, they are doing beautifully. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go outside and I'm going to take my hole maker thing over here and I'm going to get them transplanted into the raised garden bed that we have outside for them. It's been raining the past couple days, so right now it's a perfect time to get them put in the garden and established. And I will show you what that looks like whenever I go outside. Okay, so I am outside right now and it is cloudy. There's obviously a chance of rain, but today it's just supposed to be on and off. But what I'm gonna do is, this is the little raised bed that my husband Morrow put together. We did dig down a little bit and put a weed barrier underneath. So I thought that this definitely would be an upgrade for my onions. Is it big enough for all of them? Meh, probably not. But we'll see how they grow. I'm not too worried about like rabbits and stuff getting into them, because I think that rabbits prefer other things. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start getting these planted. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant them, but I'm going to plant them just to where the top of the onion is out of the ground. I'm not going to plant them deep because they've already sprouted, or you know, the majority is already sprouted. So I do also have Sluggo stuff that I put on top to keep like slugs and roly-polies and all that kind of stuff out of here, since these are going to be in the ground. And I do have a little tub over there that I'm kind of preparing, and that hopefully will be for some potatoes, but that's still a work in progress. So we're going to focus on getting these onions in today. And with it being kind of wet and yucky, I grabbed an extra one of our car mats and a pillowcase, and that just makes it a little bit easier and clean. So when I get down there, and you know, I don't have to get all yucky. But all right, I will be back once I start getting these planted. And I do believe I'm going to plant the bigger, more established ones, and then go to the medium ones, and then the ones that are tinier in the front. All right, so I'll see you in just a little bit. Well, I had to run undercover for a little bit. It did start raining. Not raining too hard, but enough that I did not want to. You see back over there, it looks like it's cleared up, but it says it's gonna rain for about 11 minutes. So I'm just gonna kind of hang out. All the birds are coming back in. They don't like the rain. All right, so the heavy rain is over. It's just doing a little bit of drizzling right now. So I'm gonna run back outside and finish getting these onions in the ground, so I don't have to come outside and mess with any more rain or anything like that today. But I don't want to slip down the hill, so gotta be careful. All right, so I started to get the bigger onions put in, and what I did was I was putting them in a zigzag pattern, you know, zigzag, and I'm gonna end up putting like 8 in a row and see how many I can get to fit. All right, so I'm gonna get this done real quick. I'll be back. Okay, so I got done, and it's not the prettiest thing. I started off staggering them, and then I had way too many bulbs to do that. So as soon as I started staggering them, I went back in and just was placing the smaller bulbs in between the bigger bulbs. I try to give every bulb at least a 2 to 3, some even 4 inches around space. But like I said, the bigger ones are spaced out better than the smaller ones here. And I'm actually going to wait a little while with it raining on and off today. I was going to water them in, but it looks like we're getting ready to have some more rain. So I'm going to give it a couple hours because this is already wet. Let it rain, and if in a couple hours we don't get enough rain, then I will go ahead and add some more water. But yep, so onions are now in the ground. Woohoo! So everything that I'm growing on my back porch, slowly I'm starting to bring out and letting it have its final home. So hopefully in a couple months we'll be able to have some really nice white onion, you know, especially with carne asada, or you know, just for cooking. It'd be nice to come out and have some onions. Yeah, so with that, you know, the only thing that I might end up doing is maybe putting some kind of, just a little bit of a fence around. You know, I don't think rabbits, I googled, I don't think rabbits eat, but I don't want like any cats or anything to come in here and kind of start digging around, squirrels and stuff. So later on I am going to probably put up a little, kind of like a barrier, just to protect them a little bit more. But right now, at least I got them in the ground. All right, so later we'll do updates and see how they go. Hopefully a lot of them survive. Yep, so we'll see you in the next gardening video.